Hello everyone, I am a stomach. I am a part of digestive system. I am having a J-shaped structure. I am a dilated part of alimentary canal between the esophagus and small intestine and have a muscular structure. I secrete many juices which can churn the food into a soup. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello students, how are you all? Yes, I'm your teacher Sundis here, and from now onward, as you people know that from the last week I'm taking your lectures and I'm taking your class also. So in my today's lecture, I will first talk about digestion in humans, and then in particularly we will talk about the basic step on which we are through which we are going. Okay, first of all, digestion in humans. What is digestion and why it is needed? Okay, digestion is a process by which we are breaking down the bigger food molecules into the smaller food molecules, and finally whatever the good nutrients that is present in the bigger food molecule, it is just being absorbed inside our blood and give us the energy to do the different kind of activities. Okay, this process of digestion is taking place in 5 steps. How many steps? 5 steps. The first step, ingestion. Ingestion means taking enough food. We are taking enough food, so this portion that we call oral cavity, that is responsible for the, you can say, taking enough the food. Particularly we are having a mouth which is responsible for the taking enough of food. So what basic step is happening here? We are chewing the food. What is that chewing? Basically what is the purpose of that chewing? We are breaking down the big food molecules into the smaller food molecules. Finally we are chewing, we are grinding the you can say food, and we are finally converting that solid lump of the food into the semi-solid particles which we can easily send down to our you can say stomach and other digestive system parts. So first step is the ingestion of food. Now after ingestion, oral cavity is responsible. Then we are having one esophagus, that is a food pipe that is taking that food from the mouth to deep down to the stomach. So second step that is taking place inside the stomach, that is called digestion. Now stomach is responsible for, you can say, digesting all the bit and junks which is present inside the food, finally turning it into a soup-like structure, and whatever the you can say nutrients are present, it is finally just being thoroughly mixed inside that you can say soup, and it is sent to the next part that is called the small intestine, and then it is gone through the large intestine, and in this way finally what is happening now? Finally the digestion of the food is happening there. So first step is the ingestion. Ingestion means taking in of the food in the form of the big molecules. Second one is the you can say breakdown of the food into the very fine particles like a soup particle, so that it can easily move along the whole, you can say, alimentary canal. And then next is the absorption. The third step is the absorption. Now we are having an associated organ that we call liver and the gallbladder. The function of the liver and the gallbladder is to, you can say, absorb all the good nutrients which is coming along that you can say food, and it can absorb all the good nutrients and finally send it and mix it to the blood portion. So the next step is the absorption. After the absorption, now what is happening? Assimilation. Assimilation is another important process. What is happening in the assimilation? Now whatever the absorbed nutrients are present inside the blood, either it's present in the form of the complex form. Now our blood is sending that to our each and every cell, and we are finally, our each and every cell is getting energy out of that nutrient which is coming in this way. And the fifth major step of the digestive system is the defecation. all the unwanted waste, all the unnecessary waste, it is simply removed out of the body, and this is called defecation. So basically the journey which the food takes from the oral cavity, then to the esophagus, then to the stomach, then to the small intestine, then to the large intestine. On the way of the large intestine, a special tube is taking all the blood rich in the nutrients to the liver, and liver is just absorbing all the good nutrients, and all other solid waste it is going down and removing through a special opening that we call the anus, and that is the defecation. So this is the whole journey of the food along our digestive tract, and it takes place in 5 major steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and defecation. Till the time we have just discussed about the oral cavity in detail. What the oral cavity is doing? It is chewing. We are chewing the food. Due to the chewing, we are breaking down the bigger particles into the smaller one. After that, we are grinding with the help of the teeth. We are doing the grinding, and finally the hard particles of the food is converting into the semi-solid, so that it, with the help of the saliva even present inside our mouth, and finally it is able to send that down due to the muscular contraction that is called the peristalsis. This is happening in the esophagus, and finally it is going down to the stomach. In my last you can say lesson, I have referred you 2 videos. One was showing how the food is going down from the mouth to the you can say esophagus, and by the help of the muscular contractions, the esophagus is finally pushing that food particles down to the stomach. So in our today's topic, we will talk about the structure of the stomach, and even the function of the stomach. So for this purpose, open your book with me and open page number 159 of your book. We can simply go through the all the functions which is happening inside the stomach now. Now what the stomach is doing? Stomach is you can say finally doing the digestion of the food. It is a second step. What the stomach is doing? It is the digestion, in which the complex food molecule is simply turning down into the simpler food molecules. So open your book and we can have the reading of the book there. Hence clear that digestion is a 5 steps process. Our main topic today, that is present on the page number 160 of your book, stomach. What now stomach is doing? It is performing churning and melting. Churning means it is turning that food in the form of a circular motion, and finally that solid, by the help of the different chemicals which are present there, by the help of the acid, hydrochloric acid, finally all the big food particles are turning into the soup like structure. So in particularly today we are concerned for the stomach structure of the stomach. When the esophagus, the food pipe, is taking the food down, it is an opening here that we call the cardiac sphincter. Cardiac sphincter is the first opening due to the, you can say, muscular movement of the esophagus. It is creating the pressure here, and which is letting the food enter inside this J-shaped structure that we call stomach now. In the J-shaped structure, we are having the first cardiac sphincter, and the portion which is present here we call it cardiac portion. Now come down. In the down portion, we are having the, you can say, muscles in the wall of the stomach, and then inside this we are having the different kind of the chemicals are present here. One special kind of the, you can say, gastric juice is present, hydrochloric is present, and even few kind of the enzymes are present, which is finally, you can say, circulating the food in the form of a circular motion, and breaking down all the solid particles and converting it into the kind of a soup there. So whenever this at least the food can stay here for the few hours, it can depend upon the kind of the food also, and after that now the food is just in the form of a soup. It is just pushed through another gate. This is the entry of the stomach. This is the exit point of the stomach, and we call it pyloric sphincter here. And from the pyloric sphincter, it is entering into the first portion of the small intestine. But today I will not talk about the small intestine because our main concern is about the stomach here. So we can go through the reading of the stomach. Stomach is a dilated part of alimentary canal. It is J shape. How it look like? J shape in the left of the abdomen, just beneath diaphragm. Diaphragm was the ending, you can say, frame of the respiratory system. Stomach has two portions. Cardiac portion of the stomach is present immediately after esophagus, and pyloric portion is located beneath cardiac portion. Stomach has two sphincters openings, one called cardiac sphincter, other called pyloric sphincter. Cardiac sphincter is between stomach and esophagus, while pyloric sphincter is between stomach and small intestine. Very important, you can say, point to understand. Cardiac sphincter is between esophagus and stomach, while pyloric sphincter is between stomach and small intestine. Bolus enters stomach from esophagus through cardiac sphincter. When food enters stomach, the gastric glands found in the stomach walls are stimulated to secrete gastric juice. I told you people earlier, many kind of the gastric juices are present there. Even hydrochloric acid is present there, that is very, you can say, acidic in nature, and whatever the food is going down in the stomach, it is just being, you can say, turned into a soup like structure by the help of these gastric juice. Gastric juice is composed chiefly of mucus, hydrochloric acid, and a protein digestive enzymes, pepsinogen. Hydrochloric acid converts the inactive enzyme pepsinogen into its active form, pepsin. HCl also kills microorganisms present in the food. Pepsin partially digests the protein portion of the food into the polypeptides and shorter peptide chains. So this is all that is happening, and we call this process as a churning and melting process. Come down, we are having an important major fact here. I guess it's clear to everyone. An interesting problem is raised here. Pepsin is a powerful protein digesting enzymes. Why does it not digest the stomach walls? Why are mostly proteins? We saw that pepsin is not released in its active form. Rather, it is secreted as inactive pepsinogen, which requires HCl for activation. The mucus of the gastric juice form a thick coating over the inner wall of the stomach and neutralize the HCl there. It makes pepsinogen difficult to be activated and attack the stomach walls. Okay, what is happening now? In stomach, food is further broken apart through a process of churning. The wall of stomach contracts and relaxes, and these movements help in through mixing of the gastric juices and food. The churning action also produces heat, which helps to melt the liquid content of the food. The starch in our bite of the bread and the protein in mutton have been partially digested, and the food has been converted to a soup-like mixture called chyme. What we called it? Chyme. Few people even pronounce it chyme. After it, the pyloric sphincter allows a little mass of chyme to enter duodenum. Duodenum is the first portion of the small intestine. Okay. Another important fact here: some quantity of gastric juice is always present in the stomach. When bite is in the oral cavity, brain send messages to the stomach wall to secrete some gastric juice. When food reaches stomach, more gastric juice is secreted to the according to the need. If there is a little or no protein in the food, stomach does not secrete more gastric juice. On the other hand, if more proteins are present in the food, embedded gastric juice is secreted. In this case, already present gastric juice begins the digestion of the huge proteins into the peptides. These peptides stimulate some cells of the stomach wall to release a hormone called gastrin. This hormone enters blood and is distributed to all parts of the body. In stomach, it has specific effects and stimulate the gastric glands to secrete more gastric juice. So this is all that is happening inside the stomach. Major what the stomach is doing? It is doing the churning and melting and finally converting the food in the form of a soup-like mixture called chyme. I guess it's my today's lecture become very clear to you people. Inshallah, Next time we will talk about the next portion of the alimentary canal, that is the intestine. So stay safe, students, and I will highly suggest you people to reread this portion, this topic of the book, and just get a clear idea about it. So stay safe and healthy at home. Allah Hafiz. Of the day: be selective in your eating habit, because I want to be a happy and healthy stomach. Allah Hafiz.